So I started this group, I was thinking the other day, because I see a lot of people looking for help when they have schools that are under 100. And I kind of put this out, which I thought was pretty neat, that it's for schools that have less than 100 but want to change that. In other words, I know a lot of people have smaller schools by choice. Either maybe they're working in another job, they just haven't decided that they want to do this full time, so they're helping doing that. I really want to get a group of school owners that decided that under 100 is good, but I would really like to change that as soon as possible. So I put together some things on what I feel would be the first steps to change that. I was talking to a group just before this about sharing. We keep going back and forth. I keep unmuting you, so let me mute you so we don't get any. Okay, that should do it. A lot of it, when I start talking to other clients that have gone from like under 100 to over 100, we talk about what it takes, and they say it's just a switch in their mindset. In other words, all of a sudden they say, okay, I want to become a black belt in the business part of martial arts, not just a black belt in the martial arts. I want to switch from martial artist to martial arts entrepreneur. And they want to do that, of course, without selling out. And if you guys are familiar with my organization, I've been helping schools since the early 1990s. One of the big things I've always been is giving great value, producing good students, adhering to the values and principles of martial arts. So I'm all about that. So what does it take to make some type of changes? Well, it is in a mindset, and I kind of just have a picture here of getting your ducks in a row. And I think the first thing that everyone has to do is just be in the present. Because a lot of times when we're running our school on past events and what's happened over the last 5, 6, 10 years. Some of those things worry us because maybe we've done things that didn't work out great in the past. Maybe we're unsuccessful at things. And our mind is controlled by these past events. So we got to stop worrying about the past. We got to start thinking about the future. But we can't worry about the future. What we have to do is just be in the present. Because if we're worried about the past and worried about the future, it's hard to make decisions in the present. So the first thing we have to do is just get present. Next thing you have to do if you're going to make changes is to own your power. When I say own your power, I'm talking about if you're making decisions on your own power, that's one thing. But a lot of people are swayed by other people. In other words, all of a sudden you decide to change your schedule, you decide to change your pricing, you decide to change different types of marketing, and someone else is telling you that's not a good idea. Maybe one of your old black belt goes, well, I like the way things were done in the past. You've got to own your power. When you make a decision that you want to grow, you got to realize that you're in charge of that. You can't let other people or other ideas from people that really aren't totally invested or interested in your future sway those decisions. Next thing you have to realize that where you are right now in business is because of all the things you've done in the past and those previous experiences. So just it seems idiotic to remind everybody of this, but if you keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same results. So noticing that everything I am right now is because of past decisions. If I want a different future, I've got to make different decisions and different choices now. I was talking to Sal Convento before this meeting. Sal's got 2 very successful schools in San Diego. And I was saying, Sal, what was the difference? What switched in your head that made you change? He goes, well, I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable. In other words, there was a lot of changes. And she just made a remark because I had everyone do an event this weekend that I do personal coaching with. And he goes, I don't want to do that event. Well, what happened is he did the event. He signed up 3 people at the event. He got 60 people's name, addresses, and phone numbers. So now he's got 60 people to do some prospecting. He's going to have a phenomenal October. But he knew there was changes. He knew it was going to be a little uncomfortable, but he welcomed those changes. And I started thinking about how many times I had to change a schedule. About 5 years ago, I bought a school in Mesa, Arizona. The school had 60 students, and he had classes most of the day long. Well, with 60 students, you only have like 20, 25 training a day. I don't want to teach small classes, so I changed the schedule. Well, then we got up to about 100 students, and we changed the schedule again. So there's a lot of changes along the way, but that's part of the growth. Next thing I think that holds some people back is they're stuck. So they feel stuck, and that's running in the top of their mind. So they're not thinking positively. You're not stuck. You're right at the point of a tipping point. The momentum's ready to go your way, but you have to have the courage and the open-mindedness to make some type of changes. Sometimes I find it slow progress with people under 100 until they make these types of mindset changes. I love working with a client who just says, tell me what to do. I want to make $10,000 a month. What do I have to do to make $10,000 a month? Or, I understand I want to work on retention. What do I have to change in my program to do retention? And then they do it. I had some very successful school owners, like 2 leaders in the industry that I know that were living in their schools when they started to get these different mindsets and changing. And now they're teaching 1,000 students. So things can go pretty fast once you make your mind up that you want to change and you're willing to do what needs to be changed. So these meetings that I plan on doing for the next couple months, I don't want them long meetings. I don't want you taking long notes. What I want to do is meetings that are about 20 minutes long, that you can get some certain topics. You can get an assignment, accomplish that assignment within a few days, and then we're ready to move something to something new. One of the things is hours of operation. I notice a lot of small schools tend to operate on small hours. They're not very busy, so they figure they're going to go in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because classes start at 4:30. They're done by 7, and that's when they go home. Well, when you're teaching in your school, that's your job. So your job is kind of something that you want to do. You love teaching. So you start thinking, well, I own a school. I'm going to go there and teach because that's what I love to do. Well, that's just part of being a successful operator. Another part is you have to spend time on the business. What are you doing to create conversations? What are you doing for marketing? What are you doing for planning? You can't do that during go time when classes are going. And there's also the busy. The busy is making flyers, making outgoing phone calls, making up different flows in Rainmaker. So you have to be there more of the times. Plus, people can stop by anytime. I've talked to Tom Baker. Tom Baker's got a school in Mesa, Arizona. You'll probably hear me mention his name a lot. One of the things that Tom does is he opens in the morning because he's in a shopping center. People are shopping for groceries. They're doing other things. They walk by his school, and they stop in. Now, this may not happen every day, but it happens often enough that if he wasn't open, he wouldn't be getting these students. And if it wasn't open, he wouldn't be getting these phone calls. I know you can take your phone call anywhere, but it's much different than if you're busy in some type of line someplace, talking to a prospect on the phone, or if you're in your school and you're ready to take care of business. So you have to be open. I would say a good school, a successful school, is open from maybe 11 in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening. So it's really important. Now, I know I'm going to get some people thinking, well, I would love to do that, but I got to watch my aunt's kids every single day, or I have to deliver this, or I can't do it that time because that's the time I go to the gym. Well, those are your choices. I remember having my school in Coral Springs. I wouldn't close during the day. And I had a friend of mine, Kai Blackstar, who's an instructor, and we'd be working together. And he said, let's both go to lunch. I go, no, we can't go to lunch together. I go, what if someone comes in and they want to sign up? We go to lunch every single day, and all of a sudden we miss 5 people per month. I mean, that's it. That's only like 1 a week that would come in, and we miss that person. That's $5,000 in business. So we got to make sure we're open. That's the first thing. Next thing is class size. Make sure your classes are big enough when you're a small school that they are exciting. If you have classes and you have 4 or 5 people, those not only hard to teach, it's hard to get the kids excited. So I would really suggest that if you're a small school and you have 60, 70 students, that maybe you have a kids class, that maybe you have a Tiny Tiger class, an adult class, and that's the classes. Use them prime time. 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, maybe that's your time for classes, but you want to have enough people in class where now they can mingle with other people. You can get them motivated. There's excitement. There's energy in the school. Right now, my grandchildren have just signed up at a school that just opened in Boca Raton. They're the only 2 kids in class. I hate to be the instructor. I mean, they're my grandkids and I love them, but it's really hard to just teach 2 kids that are brother and sister. And it would be much easier if that he just had 1 class instead of having a 3 o'clock class, 4 o'clock class, 5 o'clock class. Get them bigger. Once the classes start getting bigger and more exciting, you start getting more new students, then we can expand the times. Next thing is we want to make sure we have a consistent way to make appointments. Now, you can make appointments for an initial consult. I have a client I was just on the phone with, and he's in Dothan, Alabama. People come to his school, they sign up with the initial consultant. So they call in, he makes an appointment, says your first time to come in, we're going to do a consultation. You get a chance to watch a class in progress. After you watch a class, we'll explain the different program. You may do a mini. Mini is like a 4 weeks. Someone signs up 4 weeks for $99. That's a mini program. You may do a paid intro. Paid intro could be 2 classes for $29.95. You could do a free trial. All those work. I'm not saying one is much better than the other. They all work. Thing is to be consistent. You want to make sure when you're picking up the phone, you want to make sure when you're following up on some type of email that there's a way to get that prospect to make an appointment and to show up at your school. I would think if I was in the position of a school with 100 or less, I would do one of 2 things. I would either do a free trial or a paid intro. So when someone's calling about my school, I'm saying, what I'd like to have you come down is take a free trial class. The classes are available at this time or this time. During that class, we'll do a kick butt class, and then we'll sit down, we'll talk about enrolling in the next step. I could, as a free trial, and the reason I say free trial is, again, I'm going to go back to my grandkids. I was talking to my a daughter. My grandkids do a lot of things besides martial arts. They've done dance, they've done music. And she goes, now, when she looks for something, she looks for a way for the kids to try it. Once they try it, she's ready to enroll. In other words, if my granddaughter's thinking about taking dance classes, she's already decided that she's going to sign up for dance classes. My daughter just wants to make sure she's going to get good service and the people are nice at the dance studio. So once she's tried that free trial class, now she's ready to enroll. It's also nice too because you're going on presenting your program to someone that's there after the very first time. So just think about that. I don't know what you're doing right now. It's okay, but I want to make it easy for have someone come down and try my class. Well, free is pretty easy. There's no financial obligation. Parents can understand that before I enroll, I do want to make sure I meet the instructor, see the school, and see everything in action. So if you're not doing any type of trial class, that's the first thing. In other words, we're not selling people on the phone. We're not just selling people that we meet. We want to make sure they come down, they meet us. We have a chance to find out exactly what benefits they're looking to gain out of martial arts. I always say when people come down to see us, they have a problem going on in their life. Maybe it's that they need self-defense. Maybe their kid needs to lose a little weight. Maybe their child needs to gain some self-confidence. Something's going in their life. They're having some type of pain that they want to have some help with. So they're coming down to do a free trial class. We find out the benefits they're looking for, and then we present our next step. The next step is a 6-month program. There has to be some type of commitment. If we're just having people coming in and they're all on month by month, our school is just a new student school. In other words, people are coming in, they're trying, they're leaving. It's a revolving door. So to build any type of retention, you need some type of commitment. We also have to have new students realize that we're not going month by month. We're going for a program. The first program is a 6-month program. I really like a 6-month program because there's not a lot of time commitment. So you're not going to get that mom was just worried about making a commitment because their child quits everything. 6 months is nice. 6 months also has a pretty low entry for a price point. So a lot of people coming in are probably going to take advantage of just paying for the 6 months in full, which is really nice for our cash flow. In that 6-month program, the students can be training 2 times a week. Classes for brand new students are only 30 minutes. There's a lot of reasons it's 30 minutes, especially if we're doing for children. We're looking for a little progress. We don't want to have the parents take such a big chunk out of their day that scheduling becomes a problem. Our next step program, our welcome program, the class is just for white belts. So I have all brand new students in there. This makes it easy for people trying classes because now it's just white belts. All the white belts are focused on getting their next belt. And then the step after that, which we'll get to, would be our leadership. Also included in our 6-month program is every single month they're going to do a stripe test. So we're making sure that we have a monthly goal. At the end of the monthly goal, they get their stripe. So now they're seeing progress. When people see progress, they feel good about themselves. When they feel good about themselves, they want to train more. When they train more, they start seeing some type of results. But if we don't have any type of way of monitoring progress, students don't know when they're getting better. It's really hard to say, hey, I'm getting better. Well, how do I know? Well, you've taken an evaluation. We set a goal at the beginning of the month, and now you're getting the stripe test. We also should have some type of program that's involved in this welcome program where the kids are learning Black Belt Excellence. So they're doing the Black Belt Excellence worksheets or something like that. So the parents know that this martial arts school balanced. They balance the physical martial arts with the mental part of martial arts. They have a program for the mental part of martial arts. It's not just a byproduct of martial arts, but there's a program involved. And then there should be an easy way to get started in the program. I can start with the program by paying it all in full. If I pay it all in full, I'm going to get a discount. And we'll go over pricing more later on. Or if I don't want to just pay it off in full, the school will finance the program. And the school will finance the program with a certain amount down and then monthly payments. Following this step, so again, now we're working on the infrastructure. We have a consistent one-step program. That's our free trial. After people take our free trial, we're the expert, recommend that they take the next step. The next step is a 6-month program. And that's programs designed so they can see results on the benefits they're looking for. Now, once they're involved in the program and they start seeing martial arts as a lifestyle, they start seeing the importance of setting a goal of black belt, the next thing we're going to lead them to is our long-term membership. Long-term membership, some people call Black Belt Club, some people call the Black Belt Training Course. I like to word leadership. It's our leadership program. And that is a 24 or 36-month program. So once they're involved in my program, they're in the welcome program, and now they've been at it for like 3 or 4 months. They're seeing good progress. Maybe they took their first test. Now they're ready to get out of that beginner program and get into a group of colored belts, which is our leadership program. The difference in our beginner program for 6 months and our leadership program is now classes go to 45 minutes twice a week. So the classes are longer. It's usually a little bit more expensive. A lot of schools with their leadership program are pricing about $20 more per month. So you're raising the tuition, you're increasing your income. And now instead of just all white belts in the class, they're in a class of either age group or level of ability. So if you have a smaller school, you may have I have a kids class and adult class. So they're in the kids class or adult class, but now they're color belts. Or their level of ability. This is a beginner class, this is an intermediate, and this is an advanced class. And the last part of our infrastructure are add-ons. So now you have your core program, and a student wants to learn weapons. So maybe weapons is an add-on program. I know a lot of schools do hyper. Hyper could be an add-on program. If you did Kali or grappling, that could be an add-on program. So I'm learning the core material, and then I go, hey, I'm really excited about what those kids are doing. What type of class is that? And the instructor goes, well, that's a hyper class. Well, how much does it cost to take hyper? Well, that meets 1 time a week. It's a $55 a month add-on. So that's the 4th area of income that we're going to be talking about. So, person starts by calling us. They take a consulting class or they take a free trial class. Next step is to do our 6-month program. They're involved in the 6-month program. They know about making a small commitment. They start seeing progress. Once they see progress and they understand the importance of setting goals, we transfer them into our leadership program. Now we have commitment. Now we're building retention. You're no longer that school that's just relying on getting new students. You have a core, you have a foundation. And from this foundation of core people that are on a commitment, now you can add on new people and eventually start growing. But it's really hard to grow without some type of foundation. So we have to get that foundation installed or implemented. So these would be the type of changes I'm talking about. So you start thinking about, okay, what am I doing now compared to what are some of the more successful schools doing? They are really, really good on these free trial classes and paid intros. And I'm going to get into more depth on exactly how to do those over the next couple weeks. The next thing is they have a core program. They have a next step. This is what we're recommending. You're coming here looking for this. The next step is our 6-month welcome program. Classes meet 30 minutes twice a week. It's all white belts. We do monthly stripe testing. We do the black belt excellent sheets. There's 2 ways to handle the program. You can self-finance the program and save 20%, or you can finance the program by putting this much down and this many monthly payments. I would, I don't want to get into price fixing or anything like that, but just with the majority of people that I deal with, most of these 6-month programs are about $995, so it's $995 for a 6-month program. If they decided to self-finance, in other words, put it on a credit card and take care of all the finance themselves, they would save $200. So it'd be a $795 paid in full. With a $200 discount and something for $795, you're going to find quite a few of your students are doing paid in fulls, which is really, really nice because it helps you with your cash flow. At that same time, now they're invested in the program. It's much easier to convert them to leadership. That's where I want to kind of leave it at today. So again, hours of operation. If you're not open, you're going to close. Next time is class times. For smaller school, I would think put all your class times in prime times. Sometimes that that everyone can make. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Those are prime times. As the school starts growing and we need more classes, we can expand and start doing classes earlier and earlier. Again, class sizes, I would try to keep them under 24 students, but again, as you have more people in the class, kids are going to be more successful. There's more good students for them to follow, good examples. They start building friendships. There's just so much more excitement. So keep your classes pretty big until you have to separate them. And then the next is about the infrastructure. Do we have any questions that you want to get started with? If we don't have any questions, this is where I'd like to go next with this program. I want to see who's going to be committed to the program over the next couple weeks. So we're going to meet at least on Tuesdays. On this Facebook page, I'm going to give something to do every single day or some idea. So follow that Facebook page. Once I know I have some people that are consistent and want to keep doing this, I have 20 schools, about 20 schools that have over 200 students that have volunteered to help me. I want to pair you off. So, maybe I'm going to put Michael, I find out a little bit more. I know he does Tong Soo-Do, and I know I have a client, Efren Valentin in Connecticut, who's got about 300 students, a Tong Soo-Do instructor. I want to team you guys up together. So now you have someone to network with and get some extra help. Michael, do you know Efren Valentin? Oh, okay, well, Sal Convento I just mentioned, he's a Tong Soo-Do school too, so we'll figure out how to do that. I just think that'd be a really great way to do this. I was talking to the guys in my regular group. I go, I really want to make this work. I really want to do as much as I can to help people have less than 100 school students have more than 100 by the end of this year. So we got 3.5 months to do this. I'm totally committed. Hopefully you guys are totally committed. And we just get busy and just make it happen. We're getting to the time of the year, especially in October, where there's so many ways to do marketing. Oh, so Brooks is in. He's in. I've known Brooks for a little while. He's a showroom instructor. So make sure we get going. Sharon's an old neighbor of mine. She's from Arizona. I just moved from Arizona about 4 months ago. I want to get Sharon up and going and over 100 students. Excellent. Okay, Mike. I love it. So I will put some things on. If you have any questions as we're going along, I know today I just gave you the outline. I've got a lot of filling in to do because I really want to make sure everyone really understands that trial class. So, okay, Brooks is okay. Brooks is making lunch, but we'll get you going. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm going to put this recording on if you want to share with any of your friends that might have missed this or with your staff, and we'll get going from here. One more question. So Mike wants to know, Brooks, what are you making everyone for lunch? Look, it looks like you're going to be the cook for the group. Okay, guys, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.